It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, welcome everyone to the Sam Lesante Show, and thanks once again for making our talk show the #1 talk show in Northeastern Pennsylvania. I really appreciate that. 40 years I've been doing this, and yes, I know I started when I was 10 years old, but I appreciate the fact that you have been loyal to watching us here at SSP TV. I've interviewed over 7,000 people, 7,000 shows, I'm sorry. And I'm learning, every time I do a show, I learn something. In today's show, I'm learning something. We have an organization in Hazleton called Hazleton Helps. And what I'm learning about it is it's just a great thing. And hopefully today, when you see what's happening in this area, other than bad stuff, this is a lot of good stuff. You'll be impressed, and maybe you can help. My guest today is Tony Columbo, no stranger to the greater Hazleton area. Tony has been volunteering and helping people, boy, for many, many years. He's a great guy, and he is the president of Hazleton Helps. And another person on our show today, no stranger to SSP TV. You see him every day on Wheels and Deals. He's a great guy as well, Merrill. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Tony, you have an interesting career, I'll tell you. You've been around, and I admire you. I really do. My wife and I, our family, really admire you very much because you do a lot of great things, and you're not out there, look at what I did, look what I did. You just do them, and that's it. And so I want to compliment you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Now, Tony, let's talk about Hazleton Helps. It's been around since 2002. Tell me about it.
Well, Hazleton House, back in 2002, we were serving meals for people that needed meals. The only meal that wasn't being served at that time was Easter. We did Thanksgiving and Christmas with the United Way, Catholic Social Services, and the fire department. We teamed up and we served over 700 meals with sit-in and deliveries. But Easter was the people didn't have anything, so I sat with Father Janello, may he rest in peace, and he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, we got to serve people. People got to eat, because people don't have nothing. So he said, he gave me the blessing and we went off. So then Easter became part of the 3 meals. So now we do the 3 meals, and then COVID struck. And then we were doing a meal a week. So it's a lot, and the reason we called it Hazleton Helps is because it truly means Hazleton Helps.
In putting this together, okay, you saw a need. Now, there's other things that the churches do throughout the holidays, okay? But this is not only specifically for feeding people, right? I mean, because you do other things in terms of helping people. Give me some of the areas or some of the things that you do also besides.
We've helped out. The first time we helped was Shikshini got flooded. Shikshini, they needed items, so we filled 2 U-Haul trucks and took it to Shikshini. And then after that, then we had the hurricanes in Baton Rouge. We were in Florida, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, and Florida. What happens is these people lose everything, they put out a need, that then what we do, we fill tractor trailers with bottled water, non-perishable food, items that are needed for the rescue workers, and we travel that distance to give it to them. And when we get there, these people were out, and we were in Baton Rouge, when they opened the doors of these trailers, they couldn't believe it, Sammy. The truck was full from front to back, top to bottom, side to side, and truly, the people in Hazleton, they have heart.
How do you organize that? I mean, like, do you have to go through different ordinances, or do you have to get approvals from the city or the state you're going to? I mean, how does that? You don't just load a truck up and you go down, or how do you organize that?
The first thing we do is we call my good friend Ray, of course, because we need, like you said, we need a hub. You know, when you're going to fill 53-foot trailers, you've got to have a building that's going to hold stuff. So Ray's been so gracious. We've always used his building and his staff. I mean, they help and they're busy with car sales, but they help. We have an army of people. We have the Job Corps helps us, and the community helps us. So then what I do is I call the DOT and tell them we're going to be traveling to here or there, and they give us a paper that more or less tells us that we're disaster relief. So we're above, not that we're above the law, but DOT will look at the truck and pretty much wave us through.
Mm-hmm. When you, how do you determine the needs for any specific emergency situation?
Well, when we find out what the disaster is, like if it's a hurricane, you know they're going to need, pretty much they're out of everything. So we try to get them non-perishable food, water, cleaning supplies, some first aid items. Clothing we don't take because that clothing takes up too much space in the truck. But we usually get like bottled water, first aid, non-perishable food. And a lot of people sometimes give us donations that we can buy stuff that they need. And we usually make a contact. Like when we went down to Florida, we talked to a mission and they told us what they needed.
Okay, now before I get into the details, Ray, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. How you doing?
That's good. How's Wheels and Deals?
Wheels and Deals is fantastic. We just shot one yesterday. It was great. Beautiful day to do it.
Now, you're a busy man, okay? You came into our community, and a lot of people come in, and just for show, they get involved. But you, when you get involved, you mean it because you do it from your heart, and I appreciate that. You know, there's a lot of phonies that we have. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I can. I've been doing it for 40 years.
I got you.
There's a lot of phonies that come in and just to promote their business, all of a sudden they're active, and then they move. They could care less about the area. But you care about this area. You really do, knowing you personally. Why did you? You're a busy guy. You know, you have Blaze Alexander. You're doing well out there. Why did you decide that you wanted to get involved?
To promote our business? No. No, well, because he got referred to by a guy that works for me, Brian Wartella, and when I met Tony, he's a really good guy, and he had this idea, and it just, when you have an idea, you need someone to put it into action. And I'm not great at thinking about ideas, but I'm great about let's put it into action. And we just had a whole bunch of support. And what really was impressive about the area is I believe the first one we did was Ukraine, I think. My memory's terrible. But he said, let's do this. So our goal was to load a tractor trailer and send it out before Christmas to Ukraine. We ended up doing two 53-foot trailers. We got donations from Niagara, which is a local company. They donated, I don't remember how many pallets of water. And then Van Holkland donated the trucks and the driver to run it to, I guess, the docks. But it's exciting to see the amount of people, what they would pull up in, and how much stuff my salespeople would help them get out of their cars. There's bigger hearts in this town than people know, and it's amazing because they just do it under the radar.
Ray, coming in, when you came into the community, okay, and it's funny what you say that because we have a lot of great people in our area, not only here, but, you know, Shenandoah, Monterey City, as you know, because you see them all, okay. What was where were you from? I mean, where'd you come?
I'm from New York originally, but the
What
last
part of
30
New York?
years, Staten Island, right in the city.
Yeah.
At the last 30, 35 years, I've been in like Bloomsburg, Danville area.
How did you, when you came here, okay, what was your reaction?
It's cold.
Yeah.
It's very cold. No, I actually lived up here for around 2 years. We moved up, me and my wife, when I started working for Blaze up here. And the area is so tight-knit. You know, it's so funny, the pockets. I know I do some stuff with Unico, so you have, you know, that whole group of people. You have all the firefighters. That's a totally other group of people. Rocco, like they're all. It's so, and then of course the Dominican Republic public down in town. It's just, it's such a, it's almost like a New York City. You know, it's like a melting pot of the coal people, the new people coming in, the old people. It's just, it's a very neat area. Like it's amazing, the people that are here in the businesses.
You find that you're never a hero in your own town, you know what I mean? But that's okay, okay? It's sad that we didn't have these groups that we have now back in the 20s and 30s. Yeah. When our grandparents came over, ancestors came over, and they were used and abused, okay? It's sad we didn't have that. We had the cliques back then. You had the people who looked down on the Italians and the Polish and the Slavics and you name it, Irish, etc. And you know, thank God we don't have that anymore. You do have a couple of people that are snobs, but we just put them aside. How did you? Well, did you go on any trips with them? Did you go down to?
No, because of the business.
Put the organization.
Yeah. Yep.
When you, I'm curious to see the reaction of when you physically went down there, right? What were some of the reactions that you have? You know, like we take things for granted every day. We thank God for them, but we take things for granted, I think. What were some of the reactions you you saw from the people. Give me some of the stories.
When we left from Blaise Alexander and headed down south to Florida and Tennessee, the trucks were marked. So as we were driving, we would stop for fuel. People were giving us high fives and wanting to give us donations because they knew we were a disaster relief group. So when we got to we went to the Bristol racetrack. Ray hooked us up there, and when we got there, it was awesome. You had to see they had like 10 or 12 Amish people unloading these trailers. They didn't have docks. But when we opened the back doors, they saw this stuff, and the people just would start to cry because to support them. Where are you from? We're from Little Hazleton. You know, and then when we got down to Florida, we actually were right there by the stadium that got destroyed, and the people were coming out and seeing us, and you thought you were giving them $1 million, Sammy. And all we were doing was give them relief to help them because they lost everything. And that's why this time I went, because every year we've done it, but I never completed the circle. But this time I actually rode in the truck. I learned how to sleep in the truck. I lived in the truck for 5 days. We ate in the truck. It was a great experience. And I'll tell you, it really finished it for me because now I saw a mission complete and people really on the other end, they really need it.
Some of the stories that they have, you know, when you think about it, you know, when I see these disasters, my wife and I watch this program every week where they show a disaster. And what they went through the last week, they showed about the ship, and I guess it was great because they get all the footage, you know, and they put this story together. But you're actually seeing the person going through a flood, going through a fire, going through a disaster, and I'm thinking to myself, when you see a person said, "I saw my neighbor's home just going down, you know, with the flood," and we lost you're talking about all the memorabilia. We're talking about all the things that are personal in our lives that gone. You know, what about the mental stress and the stress on them? You know, did you sense any? Stupid question. You did sense it, but I mean,
yeah, people were definitely touched, and a lot of people said they ended up needing counseling because it's awful. And I can relate that to the story that we had years ago when we had that terrible fire. We lost those 2 little boys. The fire department they had to have counselors come in because it's a life-touching experience, and you know it's tough to see these poor people that they had the clothes on their back, you know, and they had nothing to eat. They were going to eat dog food because they didn't even have nothing, no power and nothing. So we would bring non-perishable stuff. They could open a can of beans, and it was better than nothing, you know. And I'll tell you, I'm very, very honored to be part of it, and I'm so honored to have guys like Ray with me because it's a team. And I'll never say it's I, and Ray will tell you, it's always us or we. It's all of us, not just me, a group.
You know, sometimes you have to have compassion. Sometimes you have to have at least a heart, you know, that beats. You know, Ray, when you think of so many things that we waste in our lives, that we really waste, that people could be using, you know, and here's an organization that can help. That's what we call Hazleton Helps. I'm taking a break, but I'm talking to Tony Columbo, my friends. No stranger to the area here. He's helped thousands of people. And Ray Merrill, who is board member, but also he's the main man at Blaise Alexander. You see him every day on Wheels and Deals. We come back, we're going to ask you, we'll show you how you can help. It's called Hazleton Helps, only because it helps everybody. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. 40-year anniversary. I appreciate it very much. And most importantly, you know, my friends, what really makes me want to go and do these shows is when we did our scientific poll. I know I repeat this every show, but I'm so proud of it. Is that when you were asked why you watch the Sam Lesante Show, over 95% of you said that you trust me, and I appreciate that very much. That to me means it all. But now, most of you sometimes, you know, if you go to Channel 13 or 513, you could go to the information station and you'll see where our shows are. But pick up a panorama, okay? And here's our complete schedule in the panorama. And of course, this is our Pottsville Comcast. And this month we're featuring Attorney Alexis Falbello and Dr. Mead on Panorama. But Panorama, you can get all of our shows. Just pick one up. There's every show on it. You can be able to, so you don't have to miss any of our shows. Speaking of shows that I like to do, this is one of the shows I like to do. We have Tony Columbo here, who is president of Hazleton Helps, and Ray Merrill, who is a board member, no stranger to us. He's on every day with Wheels and Deals, and Hazleton Helps. Now, we're going to put a phone number on the screen and an address on the screen. And I'm putting it up for a reason. Let me put it up. It's 570-956-8303. And the address is Hazleton Helps, P.O. Box 54, Harley, PA, 18225. Now, looking at what can we do, or to help you in terms of when you're going and helping people?
What we'll do is when we have a disaster, we will reach out to the community for items that we need through the media, and we'll contact you, of course. But people at this point right now, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving meal. So what we're looking for is monetary donations. Right now we are a 501(c), so for everything that's donated, it is tax deductible. So if anybody can find it in their heart to help donate it, that money will go to feed people for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. And if there is, God forbid, a disaster that somebody needs either a wheelchair or, years ago we bought a bed for one of our firefighter sons. Super expensive bed, but we got involved and we got the bed. So that's what we're here for. But the community can, anytime we have a meal, people are more than welcome to come to St. Gabriel's Church. They can help us serve it. They can help us deliver it. We always need volunteers.
Ray, in terms of Blaze Alexander, I see a lot, activities, and you work with Unico, you work with all organizations, okay? Blaze Alexander himself, I think I met him twice, okay? What kind of person is he?
He's fantastic. He is absolutely fantastic. He's a giver, and I believe you don't get where you get in life by not giving. Selfish people don't usually make it that far. He gives a lot to the Cancer Society, the Cancer Association. He gives a lot to St. Joseph's. He's a giver. He donates for everything, and anytime we have a cause down here, he just says, what do you need?
That's why I asked that question, because sometimes, for you to do what you're doing, okay, and of course your talent is the most important thing, but you need the blessing of the person who pays you, okay? And you have to have that, because I see you're always involved in doing something in the community, okay? In terms of what do you bring to the table for?
I don't bring anything. I'm loud and I can get a point across, I guess. Promotion is the biggest thing in the world, and a lot of people go by excitement, and that's kind of all I got. I'm not afraid to get in front of anything and promote anything, and as long as there's a cause for it. I spend probably a couple hours at the telethon for the Cancer Society. Every year, and it's just to get people moving. There's not a lot of guts and gumption around anymore, and sometimes you need someone that's a little loud.
What do you say to someone who's out there watching the show, and thank God they're doing well, and here there's so many people in need, and I'll get back to some of the things you've done other than feed people. How do you motivate someone to say, look, let me give them $10 or let me give them $20?
It's just that. If you have it, imagine if you didn't. And why wouldn't you share something you have to someone that needs something? If you see it, and all of us have been in a point in our life where we were down and we needed someone to give us a hand up, not a hand out. And that's kind of what this Hazleton Helps is. Yes, you're devastated, but if I could get on Facebook or I can get on TV, and if we could fill a 53-foot truck with cleaning supplies just by saying, hey, please help, that's phenomenal. And then he takes care of the logistical part, contacting someone, getting a driver, getting it down there. And all the companies in Hazleton that we've dealt with and mentioned, they're right there for us to help. So Blaze Alexander has a parking lot in the building, but Tony's got the contacts. Van Hoekland has the trucks. Niagara gave us water. It's all still Hazleton. So it's just, if you have it and you want to feel a little bit better, give it. You're not going to miss 10, 20, $30.
In addition to the food we mentioned, what are some of the other needs, okay, that if someone's out there, they need something, what specifically are there limitations? A person may need some help here, or some help, they may need something. What are some of the needs that you've fulfilled so far?
Well, actually, I wouldn't put a limitation on anything, Sam. If you'd call me and said that you needed whatever you would need, we tried our best to get for you. We've got wheelchairs. We've got a young firefighter son a bed. We got a little girl in Hazleton. A few years ago, her mom called me at 8 o'clock in the morning. Someone was going out the city on the streets in Hazleton. She had wheelchair ramps that would go into the house and into the back of the van. Somebody stole them.
Oh my God.
They called me 8 a.m. that morning, and guess 4:30 that afternoon, we were at her house with a brand new set of ramps. So, I mean, if people reach out to us, there is no limitation. We feed people. And the goal, when we feed people, we go to your house. Our delivery people will sit with you, and people enjoy the meal. But like Ray said, I think they enjoy
absolutely.
just to have somebody to talk to more than that, and it's just a great feeling to help people. So there is no limit. You call us. If we can find it in our needs that we can arrange it, we'll definitely arrange it. Like I said, I was in New York 3 days after 9/11, so we've seen quite a bit of stuff, and it's stuff that you don't want to see.
You said something that, it's amazing. When you go to New York, 9/11, is how so many people forgot, okay? But if you lost someone there, a loved one or a friend, you never forget. And sometimes that's the sad.
That's sad. I mean, to me, 9/11, it's a national holiday to me. It's the fire department's Pearl Harbor. We got many compliments from New York firefighters that Hazleton Fire Department is the only department other than in New York that every 9/11 has a mass. We didn't miss a year. Some places have it on 5, 10. This is our 24th mass, and we're not going to stop. I have big ideas for next year, the 25th year. I'm trying to get Lee Greenwood to come to Hazleton.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it's never forget.
Yeah. What keeps you going, Tony?
Well, I think I was put here to do what I'm doing. Yeah. I recently retired, so now I have.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I retired because I had gotten sick, so I retired, and now I can do all my volunteer work, and it's in here. I mean, I was in the hospital before Easter, and the nurse took my phone. I said, I need my phone. She said, why? I said, in 3 weeks, what's coming up? She said, Easter. I said, but there's 700 people that have to eat. I said, how are we going to do it? She gave me my phone for an hour a day.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? That year, guess what? The meal went off.
Yeah.
I'm waiting in the hospital bed, but we still made it happen.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling real good now. But I have such great support around me. Again, I know if the gentleman sitting next to me, oh my God. If anything had ever happened, he's right there instantly. And we have a great board of people that it's in our hearts.
Yeah. You were saying, without missing, who were some of the people on the board that also give you volunteer?
Well, I have, like I said, myself raised with me. We have attorney John Rogers. We have Kevin Kistowitz is with us. Gina Vance is our vice president. Harry and Lisa Werkheiser. And we also have a great person, and you well know of this person. She's a phenomenal person, and Linda Shivel. Oh, yeah. She's like an honorary member of our board, and she's there for moral support, and she has a lot of good ideas to help us.
You got Bob Moore and
Bob Moore and Dennis Moore is with us, yeah. And there's just so many people that we have. I mean, I have to be here for a week.
Yeah.
Because the whole community really has responded.
So as you see, my friends, the phone number is on the screen, and the address is on the screen. If you need help in something, just give them a call. And this is not only for Hazleton, it's called Hazleton Helps, but for those of my friends, if you're watching in Shenandoah, Monterey City, Tamaulipas, all the different areas, if you need any help, or if you could help them, that's it. That's an interesting thing here. I tell this story, sometimes my viewers say, Sam, we heard this story already, but it's worth repeating. I had Sister Sponsor on the show, and Sister Sponsor has an organization in Africa where if you have a child that's a crippled or was born with a deformity, they just throw them away, literally throw them away. Her organization goes and picks them up, and they're human beings, okay? And I said, if anyone would like to help her, she got a $10,000 donation.
Awesome.
Now here's a person that when I found out, the person said, look, he says, I want to help. God was good to me. He made me, I was very fortunate in finances, similar to what Blaise Alexander does, okay? And she said, I wanted to make sure that it was going to help. And I didn't want to give my money away and all of that's going to be for, giving it away and salaries or whatever. He said, when I heard her tell her story, I said, you don't know what that's going to do for those little kids. And so as we sit out there and we hear, you know, we can afford $20 and $50 just knowing that's going to help, you know, I think that's great. You know, what do you think about that, Ray?
You're right. You're right. We don't have to pay someone to sit at a desk and make calls. Tony donates his time, and I donate my time, and the money goes straight to a cause. There's no hidden fees anywhere, which is...
What was the recent disaster you just were involved
Well,
with?
last one we were at the flood. We were in North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida,
So you actually saw...
North and South Carolina. This time I actually went with the truck driver. I did the ride, and I saw it firsthand when we got down there, the devastation and people waiting for it, for relief, and they were so grateful. And the thing that we couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for the people of the greater Hazleton area.
Well, Tony, I'm glad you called, and I'm glad to have you on the show, okay?
Well, Sammy, it's just been a long time. I've always wanted to be on the Sam Lesante show.
Well, you are, but you make me feel good. Ray, it's always nice seeing you.
Pleasure.
And I could just tell you, you know, you have our supporter, SSP TV, you know that. Anytime you need, Lisa's always been gracious.
Yeah, Lisa's
here.
been real good to us.
You know, and Ray is always there. So, my friends, the number's on the screen, 570-956-8303, P.O. Box 54, Harley, PA 18225. If you could help them out, they would really appreciate it. And once again, thank you for making this show the #1 talk show in Northeastern Pennsylvania. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.